Over the last few months, I studied over 100 of most successful channels in the info and B2B space. Coaches, consultants, agency owners, course sellers, the people who quietly book 30, 50, sometimes hundreds of qualified sales calls every single month from their YouTube content. And I didn't study them to admire them, I reverse engineered them. Their content, their funnels, their CTAs, how they structure videos, what they say in the last 60 seconds. And when I lined it all up, I found something most business owners will never notice, because the winner's most important moves are invisible if you don't know what you're looking for. The channels booking the most calls aren't the biggest. They're not the best editors, some of them barely crack a few 100,000 views per video, but they all run the same underlying system. And in this video I'm breaking down every single piece of it, so you can install it onto your own content and start booking calls instead of collecting views. Before findings, one thing you have to understand, because it reframes everything. When most business owners look at a successful channel, they see the surface: views, subscribers, nice thumbnails. So they copy the surface, post for 6 months, get some views and book 0 calls. Then they conclude YouTube doesn't work for their business or whatever, but views and calls are two completely different games. I found channels in this study with hundreds of thousands of subscribers booking almost nothing, and channels with 4,000 subscribers booking more calls than they can handle, because the subscriber count is the visible layer, the call booking machine is the invisible layer. It lives in who the content targets, how trust gets built across the videos, and how the path to the calendar is engineered. The 100 channels I studied all mastered the invisible layer. The first pattern showed up is within the first 10 channels and never broke. Struggling channels make the content for views, broad topics, beginner questions, whatever might get views in the niche. The culprit channels make content for buyers, and the difference is surgical. A typical viewer search, for example, what is the high ticket coaching, what my discovery calls aren't closing, how to start an agency. A buyer search how to get agency clients without cold outreach. Same niche, completely different person on the other side of the search. The first one is years away from spending money. The second one has a business, has a problem, has a budget, and is ready to buy right now. Every channel in the study that books serious calls volume builds most of the library around buyer searches, the exact question their ideal client types on YouTube in the weeks before they're ready to pay someone. These videos rarely go viral, and the winners don't care, because a video with just 300 views, where every viewer is qualified buyer, beats video with 300,000 random ones. I saw channels where their single best call booking video wasn't even their top 20 most viewed videos. The move for you: list the 10 questions prospect asked before they pay you, list worth more than trending topics in your niche. Each one is a video, and each video is a hook in the water where only buyers swim. Here's what actually content looks like inside of this video, and it's the opposite of what you'd expect. The shortened channel pitch: their videos drift towards their offer, their problem, their service. Viewers feel it instantly and leave. The culprit channels spend most of every video doing something else entirely. They diagnose. They articulate the viewer's problem better than the viewer can actually articulate themselves. That's why the common fixes fail, what actually causing it underneath. And here's the psychology that makes it work. When you explain someone problem with that level of precision, their brain makes it automatic leap. If they understand the problem this well, they must have the solution. Nobody in the study say, trust me, I'm an expert. They demonstrate it by dissecting the problem on camera, and authority builds itself. Then and only then they show the way out, their actual methods, taught openly, steps and all. The winner give away more of their process than the losers, not less, because the viewer who watched a full method and think I could do it myself was never going to buy. The viewer with a real business and no time thinks the opposite. The clarity works, and and I want this person who built it to run it for me. Multiplied across a library of videos is where the book calls are coming from. Now the funnel side, because this is where I saw the most brutal difference between winners and losers. The struggling channels scatter. Link trees with 8 options, a newsletter, a PDF, a community, a course, a calling buried forth in the description. Every extra option bleeds off buyers. A prospect who was ready to book a call, download a PDF instead, feel productive, and disappears forever. The call printing channels run one path. Every video, every description, every pinned comment points into a single destination, a page with one action on it. And if you push them through everything, that action is an application. A short form asking what do you sell, your revenue, sometimes your marketing spend, fill it out, and if you are a fit, you land on a calendar. The application is the quiet genius of the whole system, and it's doing 3 jobs at once. It filters out unqualified, so the calendar only fits with real buyers. It raises the perceived value, because if you are a qualified positions, the call has something to earn, not something being begged for, and it hands the channel owner full context before the calls even start, so the conversation opens at the deep end. That's why these channels can run on the moodest views. They don't need anyone. They need 50 right people a month to walk one clear path. Simplicity isn't a cycle choice there, it's a mechanism. This finding explains something that confuses me early in the study. Why do winning channel viewers show up to calls already sold? On the struggling channels, every video stands alone. On the call printing channels, the videos are deliberately chained. They reference each other might content. They end up pointing to a specific next video. They built in clusters, several videos attacking on one problem from different angles. So buyer who finds one gets pulled through 4, and that pull is actual the sales process. Nobody book a high ticket call from a single video. The pattern across the study is a binge. A buyer finds one video that nails their problem, watch 3 more that night, comes back over the next week, and by the time they hit the application, they spend hours with the channel owner. They've heard the stories, seen the proof, absorbed the method, the trust that a sales team would normally build over multiple touch points. Got built an autopilot at scale, while the channel owner slept. That's why these calls close at rates that sounds made up. The prospect isn't evaluating options anymore. They arrived pre-sold, and the call is just logistics. When you structure the library as change instead of islands, you're not editing the videos, you're building an automated sales conversation that runs 1,000 prospects at a time. Let's talk about 60 seconds that actually convert. Because the study made one thing painfully clear. Most business owners CTAs are why they book a meeting. The struggling channels stack it on. Video ends, tone shifts, and suddenly it's, by the way, if you wanna help, there's a link below. The viewer feels the gear change from volume to pitch and just click away. The transition itself kills the conversion. The call printing channels engineered the CTA into the content logic, and they do it even twice. First, a mid-video mention dropped right after a moment of proof or a heavy insight, framed casually. For example, this is actually what we build for clients, link below if you wanna do it done for you, and then straight back to teaching. No pause, no pitch energy or something. Second one is the close, and this is the master stroke. The final section honestly lays out what doing it alone requires. Every step, every skill, every hour, no scare tactics, just the true workload. Then the choice, do it yourself with everything I've given you, or apply and we have it done for you. The viewers never feel sold because they're not being pushed, they're being shown 2 real paths. And the busy business owner, the exact person these channels want, picks the second option, which is done for you option, because the CTA converts precisely because it doesn't behave like one. And quick context on why I could run this study in the first place. This is my day job. My agency built these exact call booking systems for business owners.
What up, it's Cardinal Maze. I've been with Vuk using his team since like July or August 2024. They've killed it since then. Almost 0 complaints. He's got some really talented guys in his team. He's super quick to respond. He's made some magic for me. Like, he's made ads and VSLs and long form content that has made me multiple millions of dollars. I don't really care about like subscribers or views or anything like that on YouTube because it doesn't really matter. But I mean, they do it all. So would recommend. Shout out Voot.
On fully done for you basis, and starting the best in the game is the part of how we generated over $34.5 million in results for 7 and 8 figure businesses, with clients walking into 30 plus qualified sales calls a month for their content. Everything in this video is yourself to implement, but if you rather have the team that reverse engineered all of this built into your business, the first link in the description is a short application. See if you are qualified, and if it's a fit, we handle everything while you just show up on the calls. Either way, don't leave yet, because the last finding is the biggest one, and it's one most business owners refuse to accept. The pattern that separates every cold printing channel from the struggling one without a single exception in 100 channels. The winner treats YouTube like a department of their business. The losers treat it like a side project. The struggling channels post when they are inspired, pick the topics by gut, measure success in views and subscribers, which means they're running a media hobby attached to a business. The winners run it like they run a sales team. Defined buyer, content calendar built from buyer research. Every video has assigned a job into the funnel: catch a buyer, build a belief, or clone the loop. Weekly review of one metrics above all others: booked qualified calls. Views are diagnosis, never the goal. And that's also why the winners don't do it alone. Across the study, nearly every channel booking serious calls for you has a system and a team behind it. Scripting, editing, packaging, distribution, funnel, either built in-house or handled by an agency, while the founder does one thing, and that's only they do: show up and talk. The losers try to be strategist, scriptwriter, editor, thumbnail designer, and analyst all at once. They burn out by video 15 and quit right before that compounding starts. The whole uncomfortable truth of the whole video study is this: YouTube rewards businesses that take it seriously and quietly punishes everyone testing the waters. There's no middle setting. The channel booking 30 plus calls a month decided this was the system worth building a property, and then they build it properly. So that's the 100 of the best call booking channels taught me. Targeted buyers, not viewers. Diagnosis before you prescribe. One pet to the calendar, trains the Binge, engineer the CTA, and run it like a sales system, not a hobby. You now understand the invisible layer the most business owners will never see, and you've got two options with it. Option 1 is, of course, build it yourself. The full blueprint is in this video, but now you know what properly actually means. Buy research, topic strategy, scripting, filming, editing, packaging, chaining, funnel, application, review, and that's everything you're doing every single week, on top of running your own business. The strategy was actually never the hard part, the machine is. Option 2 is where we build and run machine for you. The exact system from this study installed into your business, 100% done for you. You show up, talk about what you already know, and qualified calls land on your calendar. If that's you, click the first link down below in the description and answer a few quick questions. See if you're qualified. If you do, you'll book a call with me directly and we'll map out the entire system on it. So first link down below, see if you qualify, and I'll see you inside.